Hey everyone, my name is Doc Williams, the founder of Brand Factory Inc. and Build With Me, and I am a product developer, a brand developer, all of those things. Basically, what I do is I look at entrepreneurs and their brand and I figure out how they can make money and tell a great story. That's what I do. So today we're going to be talking about no code and how I have used this throughout my career in helping other brands be able to create different products, test their ideas, and then be able to scale very quickly. So I want to tell you a little bit about myself and then why or the opportunities there are for no code and using that to create MVPs and really get into all these different types of industries. So let's get into it. So again, I've been using tech and no code for several years, more than 8 years now, and I've been able to work with some of the best companies in the world. So including VaynerMedia and working with Gary's team and in Vayner Sports and AJ, his younger brother, all of these things to create workflows in creating great projects utilizing no code. Also, I've been able to be in the sports world for many different years, spanning my time working for ESPN and being a reporter, and then also transitioning and working with athletes and brands in the sports arena and building out their products, including apps and different products from there. Also was able to work with the so that's that. Also, let's see who else we've been working with. AppSumo, worked with AppSumo and been a consultant for them for over a year now. And also doing classes with trends.co. So it's the parent company, The Hustle, and then with Trends, teaching ones how to validate and create businesses very quickly. In the vast majority, I'm using no-code tools to be able to do that. Today, I wanted to talk about the power of no code and how that can really impact different industries, niches for you to go in there and either have an impact working with other brands or creating an app or product for yourself. Now, as we go through this, I just wanted to let you know that I've worked with several different brands and over 400 different types of no-code tools throughout the years. And what's important to note is my philosophy in being able to accomplish this is being tool agnostic and results driven. Okay, there's so many different wonderful tools out there, so many different products that you can be latching onto. But what's most important is that you're focusing on what the result is, either for your own brand or for your client, and then finding the right tool for the job. So I go through this by looking at 3 different fundamentals. Number one, what are you trying to create? What is the market fit? What are people saying they need help with? And that's really important because you need to be actively listening to what they're trying to do and what does the end result look like. For example, tons of people are always saying like, oh, I just need to create an app. Okay, but do they need an app? Could it be a chatbot? Could it be something else? Why do they need an app? What's the action? What are they trying to accomplish? That's crucial because that allows you to write down the exact things that you need to create or put out into the world with no code. The second thing is focusing on what is that one main feature. For example, if you're looking at an app like Instagram, what did Instagram look like when it very first started versus what does it look like today? So many times people are like, well, I want my app to look like Instagram, what they do right now. Well, yeah, that took years and listening to the community and seeing what people, the behavior pattern of users before having all these other features, before they use stories, before they did all of these other things. What was the main feature? Taking pictures, adding filters, posting them, allowing people to see them, right? So understanding that one feature, what do you want to be known for? What is that one feature that your project is solving for, or that your project is doing for people to understand or latch on to that idea. Same exact thing if you think about Airbnb, if you think about Snap, if you think about programs like Sketch, the list goes on and on. Canva, it has to be one feature and then you can add on from there. The last thing that you want to consider is what is a success? What does success look like for you? because a lot of times people are like, well, I'm just going to create a micro SaaS company. I'm going to create an app. That's great. And that might be long term. But what does success look like when you hit your first benchmark? What does it look like when your product or your app or whatever you're creating a year out? What is success for you? And I really want you to focus on that, because it's really easy to focus on what other people are doing. If you're looking on social media, if you're looking at who just got VC funded, all of those things, it's really easy to get discouraged and lose your way. So before you even get started on this project, decide for yourself, what does success look like? Now, if it's bigger goals of, getting VC funded, if you're going to bootstrap it, whatever, that's fine. But make sure that you're having little successes on the way to the big goal, so you don't feel like you've lost it, or either it's that goal or nothing, because that's going to discourage you and it's going to be really hard to find that balance. Okay, once you have looked over those three different steps to get started, now what I want to do is show you some examples of different brands that I've worked with, and also projects to show you how using no code can help you rapidly validate different ideas that you might not have thought of. So many times people think of it just going to be an app or something like that, but really think about no code just as another way to solve any type of problems. Don't necessarily put it into a box and it has to look like X. It has to be doing this. Think about just trying to solve problems, and it allows you to now experiment and build all sorts of projects. So let's get right in. Okay, so we're going to first go with VaynerMedia. Working with VaynerMedia was a great experience. And what we were able to do is work with one of their companies under the VaynerX brand and create a workflow in order to start showing off more media. And instead of having a giant team, being able to do this and facilitate this with solo entrepreneurs. So there are tons of different talented influencers or thought leaders that just need help with putting out their content. They've already have the production of the content, but the distribution, it's overwhelming. So what we did was we came in and we worked with the team in tandem. So using the blueprint of the content model for the Gary Vee content model, we did the 2.0, where we actually took the structure of that, and then we used the power of automation to be able to help influencers and small business to have the same exact structure of what Gary was able to accomplish with his team of 30 people, with paring it down for one person to have the same exact amount of output of content as his 30-person team. So that's what we did in 2019, and that was all done with no code. And again, it was a great experience, and the team was wonderful. The next thing is we worked with another company called BG Sports Enterprises, and they worked with a ton of different athletes, UFC fighters, NFL players. The list goes on. Soccer players, rugby players, and some of the best in the business, some of the top athletes. So what they were doing was, they're an agent. They were looking to figure out how they could manage opportunities for their athletes and be able to be more hands-off, give more power to their players, but again, expand what they could be doing and working with more people. So what we were able to do was actually create an app for them to be able to manage all of those requests for interviews, but also for the athletes themselves to go on to the app, make decisions of who they wanted to work with, and also see opportunities of different campaigns that were going to be online, either virtual or in person, all of those things. And with so many things changing with COVID, this needed to be adaptable, and they wanted to make sure that they're connecting with their athletes and giving them so many other choices. That's what they were able to do with this app. So they were able to onboard more than 83% of their athletes, 83 different athletes on the platform, ranging from influencers, ranging from different athletes, and then giving them that those opportunities. And again, allowing them to expand their network, and then also be able to position themselves for more work as well. all with the power of no code. Instead of having a custom built app that would take months and thousands of dollars, then they were able to now have this with literally within weeks and start promoting this and have their athletes having these opportunities. So that's just one example. The other example is we've worked with different ones that were in very niche markets. For example, we were working with actually a builder. He had a very unique business where he would be hired to either pick up IKEA furniture for people or build it for them or give them advice of what they need to do to make their space, just a custom build out of IKEA products. And so this was a big need that we saw. And what we did was we saw that this was big in subreddit groups, and then also an example like this is IKEA hackers. There was tons of people that wanted to know more about how to use IKEA, but they just didn't know where to go for that expert opinion. So what we did was, and there was another issue. Tons of people around the US wanted the opportunity of getting specific products that IKEA puts out, but if they're in different locations, how could they actually find someone to go get it for them? So we actually built out a micro marketplace for the community where you could post requests, be able to ask people to go pick up different types of IKEA furniture and everything. And so we built the micro marketplace within an hour using Airtable and Pori to be able to do that. And if you look at it, it's all attached on the back end with Airtable. You could pick the details of your item, ask people to do this. And this was the open market where this is version 1.0, where people can leave their information, say, this is what I'm looking for. And now the pickers can go here and be able to look at, hey, I'm already going to be in the area. Let me go and get this for someone and, get extra money for their efforts. And again, this is something that was right out of the community that people were asking for over and over again. So we were able to create that product very quickly. Going back to IKEA hackers, right now with one of our clients, we're helping them build out their own community. And then that allows him to get more work. And then again, be able to have another avenue of income for that, for being that expert for IKEA. So it's very promising. The other thing is, I mentioned before, working with ESPN and being close into the sports world, there was a project with Sports Business Classroom, which is really the cutting edge of helping the NBA. They are the quintessential spot for training for different ones to get into the NBA, either the front office, being a trainer, being an agent, all of those things. So working with this team and showing them the power of no code, just an example of using API and just basically pulling the information. We did this is just an example in a Notion document. Actually, someone else did this, but this is just showing you the power of pulling information and data and making it very accessible for people to do really unique projects with this. This is pulling the data using an API call, and now you're having access to all of the rosters of different teams, being able to filter, do all of these things very easily without needing to code. This is really beneficial because there is such a need to have an expertise in a very specific field such as the NBA, but also understanding the concepts of coding or understanding the concepts of pulling data or understanding no code in general for what it could benefit other businesses. For example, we just saw that. Another one that we're building out right now is talking about the trade machine or even shots. So we'll give you an example. This is NBA shot charts. This is all done with no code, or it can be done. This one actually shows you pulling the API of showing the raw shots data of what's happening with every player with whatever they make. So you can actually search any player right here, the shooter, the team, what they did. Let's just pull out real quick. We're just going to pull a team real quick. Okay. We're going to just search and we're going to pull the data. This can all be done with no code again. creating very specific applications for a person, again, based on what they need. I mean, this is really impactful. This helps reporters, this helps journalists, this helps their team to understand what's happening. All this can be created with no code. So it's understanding what the audience is looking for, what they need help with, and the applications are endless. It's just understanding what your target audience needs, what's the one feature that they're asking for, and then you can go ahead and build it. So again, this is just a few different projects working with clients and working with different people, but I really implore you to think about not just, walling yourself into a certain type of platform, or you have to make it look like this. Listen to what your target audience wants or needs, and then be able to reverse engineer solving their problem. Look for whatever platform helps you be able to do that. In find out, allow yourself and allow your target user or your client, talk to them what that end result looks like, and don't necessarily think about, it has to look like this automatically. It has to look like this app. What's the behavior? What are the goals for you to reach your goals? And that allows you to have a better experience, a more unique experience of what you're going to be building with no code, because that allows you to think of the problem outside the box and maybe approach it from a different angle than someone else does. Now, and keep in mind too, you see this in every industry. There are tons of different products or tools that tons of people, they might have the same idea, but the execution is totally different. That's the beauty of no code. You're going to be able to validate your ideas very quickly, make it your own, be able to see if people gravitate in it, solve the problem, and then you can pivot very quickly or iterate on this very quickly as well. So again, if you have any questions, let me know. I have a show called Build With Me. I go and build businesses every single week with no code tools. You can find me on YouTube. You can message me at thebuildwithmeshow.com. But I really want you to focus on making this about what you're trying to solve and then work backwards. I can't wait to see what you build, what you have in store for no code. And again, thank you for your time and being here, and I'll talk to you soon.